So,
and then we started the business with the mindset to scale it anyway, because we weren't cleaning. And a lot of people, when they start whatever business they're going to do, not even just cleaning businesses they're starting, is like, I'm going to do it until I figure it out. I'm going to actually do the labor. I'm going to do the work. And it's very hard to scale yourself out of doing the work. Because you get to the point where you're like, I'm really good at this. Nobody could do it as good as me. But when we started the business, we weren't cleaning houses. We still aren't cleaning houses. So we didn't have that problem with.
Ooh, how I miss that music, man. It gets me so hyped. I'm so excited. Listen, for some of y'all, this is probably the first episode you're hearing for the new year. And for me, I'm back from my little break. I had to take a couple weeks off, but we are starting the year off with a bang because we have the Hartzogs on the episode today. So welcome back to Entrepreneurship Exposed with your guy Beez, where we talk about everything related to entrepreneurship, all the strategies out there that you have heard about or maybe didn't hear about, with a twist of business acquisitions. Let's go. The Hartzogs, my guys, my guy and girl, my people. What's going
on, Beez? Thank you for having us.
Oh, it's a pleasure. Thank you for coming on here. It's great to finally get this conversation going with y'all. Introduce yourself. Tell the people a little bit more about you guys.
Okay, so my name is Jhanika.
I'm Anthony.
And we reside in Dallas, Texas, but we're from Brooklyn, New York. We've been living in Dallas now for the past close to 7 years. We have a baby girl that's almost 11 months. People.
Before you even go, we're going to give you an inside scoop. She just started walking today. Not on social media. The family didn't even hear about it yet. She just started walking today. Literally 7 steps and then fell. So.
I'm a mental health therapist, and I'm licensed in New York and in Texas, and I still work my 9 to 5.
I was a director at an IT firm. I was there for 9.5 years. Recently retired, left my job about a year ago. So now full-time entrepreneur for the past year.
And we paid off $114,000 of debt in 23 months. And we did that by side hustling and starting our cleaning business that most people know us for now. We have a cleaning business, a 7-figure cleaning business down here in Dallas, Texas, where we don't clean any homes. And we teach our students to do the same, how to own their cleaning business without cleaning any homes.
Ooh, they don't just brush over that. You got rid of how much in debt in how much time?
114,000, over 114,000 in 23 months.
This was literally on our fridge and in our living room while we were trying to pay it off. So
yeah, let's go. That's what I'm talking about.
I love it. Back there, but
it's kind of like, so I was just talking to my students right before this, and we were talking about vision boards and visualizing the things that you want to do for the year, setting your goals, and then how do you actually achieve it? But you know what I'm gonna start telling them? After you achieve it, put up a plaque saying that you achieved it, and you could always remember. So you know where you came from. You know what you did.
It's funny because we took Christmas pictures that year with the dog, and we had that sign right in the Christmas picture. So that's what we used. Yeah.
I love it. So we got to take a step back because there's a bunch of things that you said that in my mind, I was like, oh, we got to talk about that. We got to talk about that. We got to talk about that. First and foremost, to the audience, if you heard what Aunt said, their daughter just started walking, took some steps, and fell. If that ain't the summary of entrepreneurship, you see what I'm saying? Because I promise you she's going to try again tomorrow. We going to fall. It may hurt, but we get back up again and we keep going. And that's
I definitely made a video about that too. I was like, I literally just said what you said. I made a video about it.
That's an entrepreneur mindset. It's like, oh, for real right there. Let's go. Well, that's what's up. Congratulations to y'all. I got 5 actually. My bonus child 2. That's my baby girl as well. So I know how it is as a parent, as an entrepreneur. Y'all are going through it as an infant. Is it your first?
Yeah,
it's our first.
So, oh man, my condolences then, because you know your sleep is dead. right? So,
well, now, I mean, she's been a pretty good sleeper since we brought her home. And then consistently since about 6 months, she does like 12 hours. So 7 p.m. to 7 a.m. So
okay,
yeah, we're pretty good on that. Yeah.
And just like the business side, people tell you, they kind of put their fears on you. So when you said the sleep thing, we got that so much. But when soon as she came home, people saying it's too early, the sleep trainer, it was too early. We were literally trying to get her in a mindset that probably way too early. But we got into that habit really early, and we didn't have
4 hour spans and so on and so forth. So yeah, we've been pretty lucky with her sleep.
I love it. That's what's up. So here's a couple other things we got to touch on, and we'll go quick on this one. But Brooklyn in the house, baby. Let's go. Right.
Yay!
So already know. So I was born and raised in Jamaica, but then I moved to Brooklyn in middle school. I went to South Shore High School.
You went to South Shore?
We are from Glenwood Projects, right across the street from.
Really?
Right across the street, walking distance.
I grew up I was in the 80s off 81st, and then I moved more towards the junction by Nostrand and Flatbush area and whatnot. I used to work
we was in the 50s.
Say, you were in the 50s. Oh, I was always in the 50s. Oh, we're going to start a whole conversation.
I mean, now. It is. It's the 80s, and then there's Ralph Avenue, and then it turns right into the 50s.
The 50s,
so it's like right there.
So damn, you know my people. Well, I don't know your age. You might, maybe I'm assuming I'm older, so maybe you don't know my people. Anyway, that's a different conversation we got to have. But Brooklyn in the house. Let's go. I love seeing. I'm gonna be honest here. You know, growing up for me, there's a lot of people that didn't make it. A lot of people that didn't make it in terms of their life. A lot of people who were locked up. A lot of people who they made it. They're alive. They're not locked up, but they never made it out of Brooklyn either. They didn't even go get a driver's license because they figured most people, I ain't driving. I'll just take public transportation. That felt to me, I loved Brooklyn. I loved Brooklyn. Brooklyn ain't the same as it used to when I grew up, but it felt like a trap. I felt that some people at the time weren't being progressive to try to achieve more, right? And I like to equate that to entrepreneurship because one of my principles of success is that you have to leave some people behind, right? And that's similar to when people say surround yourself with the right people, surround yourself with the 5 millionaires, you might become the 6. I say you have to actively also kick some people out of your life. You may still love them, but they're not on your day-to-day because you're not on the same journey, and they're trying to use their mindset to put constraints on top of you, right? So how did that work for you? Growing up in Brooklyn, you know, it's a hustle mentality for sure, but then taking it to that next level and, you know, saying, hey, we're getting out of here. We're gonna want to do some different things, some big things, and then taking the full plunge into entrepreneurship. How did you make that transition?
So really the reason that we left Brooklyn was because of his job. When we moved down here about 7 years ago, it was really because of his job, and I didn't want to move. I was one of those people that would be in Brooklyn until I die. Or even if I wasn't in Brooklyn, I'll be in the tri-state area, right? I'll be in Long Island, New Jersey, Connecticut, something, not in Texas. So at first it was kind of friction for us to make that decision to come down. But it has been the best decision for us across the board. Like, we would not be where we are if we didn't leave New York, basically. And we know and understand that. Just for, you know, we were newlyweds down here in Dallas. We didn't have anybody, so we just had each other. And that hustle really, you know, the hustle of New York, we brought it to Texas. And being able to do everything together, that grind, that's what made us who we are today, or helped us to be where we are today.
Leaving New York City, it forced us to, we didn't have to leave anyone behind per se, but we did leave everyone behind essentially. By moving to Dallas, it was literally just us. So we had to figure things out. And it also slowed us down too, because, you know, in big cities like New York, you're always moving, you're always trying to figure out the next thing. But in Dallas, it was like, things are slower. We have more time. We got more even energy just to think about anything else outside of just survival. So instead of thinking about how to survive, we're like, all right, how can we thrive in this new environment?
There we go. I like that. We did not just surviving, we thriving. That's important. So how did you, now listen, I know quite a few people, believe it or not, and it's only happened in the last maybe 5 years. I know quite a few people who own cleaning businesses. And I would have never thought of that before. before having exposure to them. But there's only a few that I know personally that have scaled to 7 figures in the cleaning business. What was a difference maker for you guys to get to that level? Because making 6 figures is a different mindset from making 7 figures. So how did you get to that level? What was the breakthrough for you to get to 7 figures in your cleaning business?
I would say really for us, having each other is a different game with you working by yourself, right? So us having the accountability, us going based off of our strengths and weaknesses and being able to bounce our ideas off of each other, that's helpful for us. But also the consistency that we had. The cleaning business was our first business ever. So it's going to be 6 years old in November, but it was our first business ever. We didn't know what we were doing when we started, but we were determined to make it work, right? 8 months in, we were like, should we continue to do this? And he was like, let's just make it last. Let's just go at least a year to see. And after that 8 month, like the 9th month was our biggest month yet. So the consistency in it and us feeling like, I think once we paid off the debt, we were like, we probably can tackle anything, so why would we give up on this so quickly, so easily? So,
and then we started the business with the mindset to scale it anyway, because we weren't cleaning. And a lot of people, when they start whatever business they're going to do, not even just cleaning businesses they're starting, is like, I'm going to do it until I figure it out. I'm going to actually do the labor. I'm going to do the work. And it's very hard to scale yourself out of doing the work. Because you get to the point where you're like, I'm really good at this. Nobody could do it as good as me. But when we started the business, we weren't cleaning houses. We still aren't cleaning houses. So we didn't have that problem with saying that, oh, no one could do it as good as me. No one can manage the business as well as me. Because we started with the mindset, like, we're not going to do this work. We're going to focus on the business side of it. So that even gave us a different level of the ability to just scale it.
That's a very impactful statement, right? That's the thing that it's part of what I preach all the time. Our community, the Black community, unfortunately, is more prone to, nobody could do it as good as me, so I'm doing it. It's only me. It's me, right? And that's not a business. That's self-employed, right? And breaking that mindset is critical. I mean, especially from a Jamaican perspective, Jamaican culture, Caribbean culture in general, certain things that are put on top of us are limiting beliefs, like credit's bad, debt is bad. You have to, this is a funny thing, you have to work hard to be successful. It sounds like, but Beez, that sounds like a good thing. Yeah, not really. There's a little thing behind that can really affect you for all of your life. If you ever heard the joke, y'all are from Brooklyn, so you probably know a lot of Jamaican people too, but there's always a joke that Jamaicans have a lot of jobs, right?
West Indians have a lot of jobs,
Indians have a whole heap of jobs, right? And it's actually kind of true, because I got family members that had like 3, 4, 5 jobs at the same time. And they were still working check to check. They were still broke. So working harder is not necessarily the path to success, to wealth or anything like that. You got to work smarter. The ultra wealthy work with their minds rather than their hands, right? And you guys, I'm super amazed at y'all, because you know how many businesses I failed in?
Okay, before you get to the episode, I just wanted to take another moment to say thank you to each and every one of you for supporting the channel. Entrepreneurship Exposed is starting to grow like crazy, and it's all thanks to you guys. Now, if you like the content, like the information that you're getting, like the guest speakers, like all of the strategies, then the way that you can support us is by subscribing to the channel below. Now, after you subscribe, you want to make sure that you also like every video. You comment on it if you can. And even more important is to click that notification bell. That notification bell will make sure that you get to see every single episode with all of this amazing information, so that you can get started on your journey as an entrepreneur. All right, now back to the episode. Let's go.
You probably know a lot of Jamaican people too, but there's always a joke that Jamaicans have a lot of jobs, right?
West Indians have a lot of jobs,
Indians have a whole heap of jobs, right? And it's actually kind of true, because I got family members that had like 3, 4, 5 jobs at the same time. And they were still working check to check. They were still broke. So working harder is not necessarily the path to success, to wealth or anything like that. You got to work smarter. The ultra wealthy work with their minds rather than their hands, right? And you guys, I'm super amazed at y'all, because You know how many businesses I failed in before I became successful? You just told me that was our first business, and we it's just nothing. I'm like, damn.
Yeah, it was our first business. I think because, like you said, because we're not actually doing it, it makes a difference for us, right? So then we'll work on the business instead of in the business. It's two different things, and that is what has helped us to scale, because we still had our 9-to-5s, right? We still had that. We still were side hustling and running this business. So there was no way. Well, I wasn't signing up to own a cleaning business with me cleaning, because I couldn't even imagine fitting that into a schedule.
And if I remember correctly, you were inspired by a session of Side Hustle Nation with Chris Schwab on starting a cleaning business. That's where you first heard of that particular strategy to get into?
Yeah. So I literally hit him up on like Facebook. This is 2016, 2017. And I was just like, can I just get a little bit of information? And it was enough to just intrigue me. But it wasn't enough to kind of go and like learn everything. So it was enough to know, like, all right, I know this is possible. Now it's up to me to put the pieces in place to make it happen. So that was like the first introduction into something like this, where, because even when we were just with our students the other night, actually last night, and they said, I never knew that you would start a business without actually knowing the ins and outs of what the task is. And my CEO in my 9-to-5, I always say this, he ran one of the most successful IT firms for hedge funds and private equities, and he didn't even know how to turn his computer on, how to do any of that stuff. He hired people who were good at the task. I mean, my CEO in New York City, he was one of the best tech companies in the space, but he doesn't know anything about technology.
And if you think about that, in almost all of our 9-to-5s or businesses, the CEOs probably don't know half of what we do or what we're capable of, right?
100%.
And with the cleaning business, it's not like it's a new strategy, because it's ran simply the same way that Uber, Lyft, and Airbnb runs their business, right? Uber doesn't own any cars. Airbnb doesn't own any homes. We don't own any cleaning supplies. It's literally the same strategy, but just in a different business. Which can be used in multiple businesses. A barbershop, it can be used anywhere, a lot of places. So
So I'm cheesing ear to ear for a bunch of reasons, right? We can't talk about them all on here because it's just going to be like friends chatting, and not going to be helpful for our audience. But Ant been saying some things that I've been like trying to not get into. Like, for example, Ant was in IT. That's my whole career. I was an IT strategy management consultant, worked for Microsoft, worked for Accenture. Technology has been my background for all my life, right? So that's a whole nother thing. Now you were also in a firm that dealt with private equity within that industry. And I'm all about the acquisitions and how I do acquisitions. Then Jhanika mentioned something about, we can't work in the business, we got to work on the business. And that's where I preach, because let me enhance your thought on that a little bit. That concept comes from Rich Dad Poor Dad. Not only from it, but it was popularized by Rich Dad Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki. In that book, he has the cash flow quadrant. In the cash flow quadrant, we talk about people start in E and they're working in the business, they're an employee. Then they say those words, I want to work for myself, I'm tired of this. And they go down to self-employed, but they stay there too long because they're still working in the business and trading time for money. And they don't realize they need to go over to the next quadrant, which is B, business owner. Now you're working on the business. Now you're not trading your time for money, you're trading results for money, right? And this is where you want to be, because now you have people working for you. You're just steering the ship rather than, pulling the sails and everything. You're just directing it. But there's a better quadrant. The last quadrant is I, the investor. Now we ain't working on the business either. Definitely not in. Now we're working above the business. I'm not concerned with the day-to-day product that is being produced by the business. My product that I'm looking at as an investor is the business. The business is a product. I'm looking at how I can buy that product and sell that product. And you guys are already doing those things without even focusing on mergers and acquisitions. You're already talking about, we know we're not going to work in it, so I want to work above the business. We know our goal of where we want to get with it. Or I haven't heard if you said you want to have an exit or anything yet, but I think I've seen something online where y'all were alluding to the potential of selling a business later on, right? So you are on path to the investor quadrant. Will you make that jump to start acquiring businesses?
So we have considered that a lot because with our students, a lot of people think that with the business that it's a franchise, that when we're selling the course, they're thinking that we have some, stocks or investments in it. And we're like, well, we should. So we're not at that point at this moment, but it is something that we've kind of thought through of how we can do that in regards to investing in other businesses in some shape or form, either if we're buying it or we're getting a percentage or, what that may look like.
And even on a low level scale, one of our competitors ended up working with us, and she had to move out of Dallas, and we just literally bought her client list essentially. And then we own a virtual assistant business, and they were like, listen, we're going to close the doors down. And we ended up buying that business, but it wasn't obviously business builder Beez level, but it was just like, we use these services already. Let's buy them, or let's buy their client list. And that's the 2 times where we said we've purchased a client list, or we purchased another business. And even our virtual assistant business is like, all right, we grew it to where it was doing pretty decent last year. It's all right, what is our end goal with this? Do we want to end up selling it? So those are just some thoughts with that. So we've done it twice on a lower level.
I love that. Don't even call it lower level. They give it the power that it deserves. That is huge because most people don't think about that, right? And when people say, I want to scale my business, a lot of people will come to me and like, oh, how do you scale? And obviously I'm going to talk to them about process, systems, and people and things like that. But the way that the wealthy scale their business is by buying others. You want to build up a marketing team? Why build one? You buy a marketing company, roll it into your existing company. Or you want to acquire vertical or horizontal integration. You're buying things related to your current business. So I guess I might as well go to the gift that I said I have for y'all.
That way he's ready.
I waited a whole hour and change.
Team, can y'all put up one of the gifts that I got for them on the screen? Okay. This is a janitorial supply business that's related to what you guys do, right? And I saw it for $950K. And when all is said and done, their profit is around $350K. It comes with $250K inventory that you could, that's included in that $950 price. It's in Texas. It's 39 years old, right? So now it has good history. If you were to buy the entity itself, you'd be doing a stock purchase. Now you'd get their business credit too. And we didn't put the top line revenue on this one. My bad. Okay, well, let's show the next one. Here's a second one for you. I had a little lower end one and a higher end one because I wanted to show y'all, and as a gift, I'm gonna give you this as guests on the show. I'll give you these two. You gotta do it yourself. You can execute on your own, but I'm gonna point you in the right path. So this one is a post-construction cleaning business, asking 3.7. One thing that the team did not add in there is that real estate comes with it, and the real estate's included in that price. The profit after their top line revenue, the amount that they're keeping is 1.248. Established in 1998, also in Texas, close by y'all, comes with inventory and furniture and fixtures, equipment, furniture, fixtures, and equipment. That's the FF&E you see. That's included in that asking price, plus the real estate that's included in the asking price. So I just showed y'all, you can take it down now, team, but I just showed you 2 businesses related to your current industry. Wouldn't you want to acquire something like that and scale your current business immediately? Because when you acquire a business, you're acquiring cash flow. You're just acquiring the additional cash flow that they have. Comes with their lists, their customer lists, like you already acquired from someone before. Comes with their brand, their history. It comes with tax returns and everything if you wanted to acquire the entity and keep their business credit and such. How do you feel when you see something like this?
I mean, that's exciting. Generally, it's so funny because with the cleaning business, the way that we run it, you know, we have an operations manager in place, and right now we've just spent like an hour in it. So it's kind of like we're not as connected, but we said this year we have to figure out like how do we take it to another level, because we know that we're coasting with it basically, right? Because we're like, it's giving us what we need. We're not putting much time into it, but the revenue is fine for us. It's fine. We're coasting with it, but we're like, we need to go further. So, I mean, that's exciting. You're going to have him at the site tomorrow, though. I know.
Yeah, I'm like, yo, you see, I'm still trying to look at the screen to see if it comes up again.
Tomorrow, so I know how he rolls.
But no, I think that's a mindset shift that you have to have, and you have to have someone show you something so that you could be, we're doing a cleaning business or just exposed in entrepreneurship. You got to be exposed to another level of thinking when it comes to just everything. So you're talking about acquisition, you're talking about buying businesses. When we bought those businesses, it's like, oh, well, we're taking a jump, we're taking a risk.
Yeah.
But now you're like, all right, we understand business and at least the general understanding of business. We understand how cash flow works. Now you're buying an empire that's been around for 39 years.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
So it just, now you can't unsee it essentially.
Yeah, exactly. and you know what you just said? You said that when you were doing it the first time, you're like, oh, it's a risk. Well, starting your business is a bigger risk than buying one. Because when you buy one, it comes with a proven system. It comes with cash flow. Most businesses are gone. That when they start up, they're gone in 5 years. So now you acquire one that's how old were the two I just showed you? 30 plus years, etc. Right?
Might have been my age.
You know what I'm saying? And they've gone through a couple of recessions already. They survived it. Now you got their sauce on how they survived it too. What did they do? You can improve your current operations in your business because you rolled this one into the existing business.
Were they in Dallas?
Oh yeah.
Okay. Texas. I'm like, Texas is big. I want clarification.
Texas is a huge state.
Oh yeah. No. We purposely did it in Dallas. Just because
that's very exciting. Very nice surprise. I told you I like surprises. So that's a great surprise.
For sure. And one of the reasons I could do this is because there's so many businesses for sale and most people don't know or believe that they can do it themselves and acquire a business. So, I mean, millions for sale. And especially right now, baby boomers retiring and they all gonna shut down their businesses too, right? So there's so many that I can't acquire them all, although I would love to try, but I can't. So hey, I give my friends some things related to their current industry.
That's amazing. We're gonna need details.
No, we're gonna get into it. But let's go back to you now. Let's go back to like, how did you what are some of the, well, actually it's probably time we go into pop. It's time for us to pop what it really means in the cleaning business, especially to get to 7 figures. So now we want to talk about what are the pros of getting into the cleaning industry? What are the opportunities that already exist or are coming out, that why you want to get into it quickly? And what are the problems? Most importantly, what are the problems? So jump in and let me know.
I'll start with the pros and opportunities. Well, one of the opportunities, you just said it, was, boomers are like, I don't want to do this anymore. Opportunities are like, they're retiring. They're at that age. A lot of people I think the numbers were crazy, especially last 2 or 3 years. A lot of people are retiring and they're like, I don't want to run these businesses anymore. Life is short. COVID happened. People are dying. Like, I don't want to run these businesses anymore. And then more importantly, their kids don't want to run these businesses, which is what I fear for, but it's bound to happen. So a lot of people are retiring from these industries, and then a lot of them don't have online presences. They don't have technology in their business. They don't have the ability to book them online. They don't have the ability to pay online. So they don't have the ability for you to even find them online. So coming in, and that's how we kind of got into this industry, where it's like, we're bringing a digital footprint. We're bringing social media. We're bringing online mapping. We're bringing things SEO so that these mom and pop shops don't really know about. So we work with, people who are just like, I just work off of word of mouth. If we could get you more business and grow our business at the same time, they're like, shoot, why not? I don't have to worry about the customer service. I can just do what I'm really good at, which is cleaning. And we could focus on the customer acquisition. We could focus on the marketing. We could be focusing on everything that they hate doing. So I would say those are some of the pros and opportunities.
Also, it's a low-cost startup. That's a big pro. We tell our students to have $1,500 to start it up. That's including getting your LLC, putting money in the business account. So very low-cost startup, website, all of that. Logo is in that $1,500. And we have students like, well, I only started with $1,000. And it's not like you're even giving it all in one shot either. it's also a business that's going to always be needed. So service-based businesses are going to always be needed, right? There's always going to be somebody that needs to mow their lawn, always going to be somebody that needs a cleaning. So I think it stands the test of time that it will be there, you know, regardless of what happened. Even with COVID, things kind of slowed down, but it didn't stop completely. The business still ran. So those are the pros and opportunities.
And then also there was just this article about McDonald's fully automating one of their locations. And you never thought you'd see something where you could just automate a restaurant. But you can't automate a house cleaner. Unless like you're like Jetsons,
the little vacuum go in the circle. The vacuum.
The robot,
the Roomba.
That's not cleaning out your fridge. That's
it's not.
So unless you got a robot literally coming in your house like the Jetsons and wiping these things down, you can't. There's not something you can automate.
Yeah.
So I said earlier that I think I'm older than y'all, but Ant just showed his age talking about the Jetsons. So maybe not. Maybe not. I know you know Flintstones too.
Absolutely. And then the last thing is problems. Our biggest thing that we talk about with problems is people.
Always.
And I think that's the problem in any business. But finding good people, we work with contractors. We don't necessarily have employees. So we work with contractors. And finding good people can be a task. Like we can find people that clean, but do you find people that's professional, that's showing up on time, has the right supply, you know, all these other things. So we always tell people the biggest issue or the hardest part of the business is finding good people. Finding the clients are easy. There's millions of people in Dallas. You're going to find the clients. Even there's millions of people in Dallas and maybe 100 cleaning businesses, right? So that's not an issue. But the people, when it comes to contractors, that can be very difficult and time consuming and draining, to be honest.
Even at my 9 to 5, that was our biggest challenge, was finding people. We gave excellent salaries. We moved into the best office. We gave free supplies, free lunch, free this, free that. But at the end of the day, finding people was the biggest challenge. We were just spending hours and hours and hours, weeks after weeks, just interviewing people all the time. So it's just, I think any industry, that's one of the hardest parts, no matter how good the business may be.
I mean, some people, just look at your coworkers. I'm sure there's bad people there. And it's true.
And like you said, it's not just finding people, but finding good people.
Yeah.
Right? You can find people.
I can pull people on the street, but you don't want to work with them. Yeah,
exactly. So you guys have mastered the middleman approach, right? And I preach that to so many people that you don't always have to be, create something from scratch. Like, oh, I had a genius idea that I'm going to patent or something like that. That's not the only way to get into business. Just knowing, okay, well, for example, I had a supply chain company, which I don't have anymore, already shut down. But that company, we were based in China. And all I was doing was partnering with different suppliers and different freight forwarders and all types of stuff in order to then have a complete solution for people who are in e-commerce, right? And how they're ordering from China and stuff like that. I did not have much staff, yet we were doing, just about 8 figures on it. You know what I mean? It's crazy how the middleman economy, the middleman approach is powerful. A friend of mine, a lot of friends of mine do it in healthcare, home healthcare.
Yeah.
They're not doing it. They're not going out and doing, anything with the patients, but they just hire the nurses and go out to different people's homes. Right. Where else? Government contracting. One of my good friends, he teaches all about government contracting, and all he's doing is getting the contracts and then finding a subcontractor to handle the work. And he's just collecting the money in between. So explain more about that middleman approach and what are the pros and cons around that for you too.
Yeah, we're in a middleman economy. Even if you just think about, like Jhanika said, like the Turos, the Airbnbs, the Lyfts, Amazon, even though they have warehouses, a lot of their warehouses house other people's products, other people's services. So Amazon is just the platform. You got the person who has the product or manufactured the product, and you have the end consumer. And Amazon just matches the two. Airbnb, like you mentioned, they match the two. Lyft, Uber, they match the two. We do like Turo. That's a big one right now. People are into like renting their cars out. So all they do is just match the two. Turo's the platform. There's a person who needs a car. There's a person who has a car, and Turo matches the two. Literally, my friend Andre Hatchett says, "Middleman your way to millions." And we're like, listen, if we can do that, that's what we're gonna continue to do.
Yeah, I don't know if there's been any cons to it.
I think sometimes you want to.
Sometimes if you feel like you want to have more control,
ultimate control.
Yeah, you want to have more control. We tell people that if you're one that you need to have people wearing your merchandise, you need to know exactly how they're cleaning or exactly how they're doing something, then you need to have employees, right? So if you want that more control and sometimes a more special touch when it comes to clients, that contractors really can't provide, then that can definitely be a con of it.
Yeah, but like if I want people showing up with my
Shirt.
Beez hat, like
Right.
they can't do that. I can't
Right.
have my cleaners showing up in Beez's merchandise at a client's home because they work as their own independent businesses. So if they decide they want to wear their own stuff, they can. Most of them don't. They kind of choose not to, but if they wanted to, they absolutely could. So you want to have people wear, like, our cleaning business colors are like blue and white. No one ever says, "Oh my God, your business website's so beautiful. You got to wear blue and white to my house." But if I wanted everyone to wear blue and white and give out cards while they're there and leave scents and towels, whatever it may be, that's what. And it's also like white labeling versus like having your own product type of thing. It's like you can't like label it the way you really want to sometimes.
True that. So I didn't realize that.
We try to focus on the customer service, the online branding, the presence, so that hopefully that stuff trickles down to the end user experience, and then also the after service follow up and stuff like that.
True. So I didn't realize that, because you basically, what you guys done is created a platform where independent contractors that are cleaners can, you're looking for cleaning work? Well, we got the clients, we got the work ready for you, and you're coming through our platform. And then for the client side, it's like, you need some cleaners? Yeah, we got cleaners, but we're not even telling you that, it's from independent contractors, just, the middleman thing. I thought it was more your actual employees that you had, that you were sending out and not doing any work because you don't have to, but they go and they're doing it all for you. But I love the approach that you got right there. You don't even have the overhead of W-2 employees for that too. So that's powerful too. Can you explain how you got to that aspect rather than having the employees and just, sending them out to clean?
I think with just doing the research when we're starting out, this is why when we say it was our first business is important, because we really didn't know much, right? So we did some research and we saw that it's possible with this, with having them sign a contract and things like that, that has the stipulations that they are a contractor. And almost all of our contractors have their own LLCs. They have their own clients. They have their own businesses. And whenever they want extra income, they'll pop in. You know what I mean? So we get enough of them that they pop in enough for them to kind of take the clients that we have coming on. And clients generally don't ask. I mean, very few ask, are you working? Are these contractors? And we will say yes. And it's up to them. But that's not a question that we get often.
Another pro is that they're already established cleaners, so we don't got to worry about finding people, training them, learning the business. Like, no, I already have my business, I already have my clients, I do really good at this. So when we find people, we try to find their online reviews. We try to find out, all right, how long you've been cleaning, what's your experience, how many clients you have, so that we know you're an established cleaner versus someone that just cleaned a few houses here and there. So that's the best part about it, is like they already been doing this for 5-10 years. Like, I just need more work.
And I'm assuming in your contracts you have like non-circumvent clauses, so they can't try to go around and just book directly with the person or anything like that.
Yeah, right. But at the end of the day, like we found 2 people who did it, but it's like, all right, you're gonna go out your way to get this one client where we're giving you 20 or 30 a week. If we find out that's literally it, we can't trust you, we can't work with you. So you want to take the risk, and we tell them up front, listen, you want to take the risk and still that 1 or 5 clients, by all means. When we find out, that's the end of it. One of our top cleaners, she did like 150,000 like last year. It's like, all right, you want to still 1 to 10 clients, go ahead. But now you're missing out on all this additional income because you decide to kind of cut us off.
That's what's up. Now, so you talked about the industry itself in terms of pros, opportunities, and problems. But what about the problems of going from 6 to 7 figures? Like, what problems did you face when you really started to scale, if any? Because y'all have a great experience compared to me and my first business, bro.
Oh, no, shoot. Like we were doing everything when we first started.
Sometimes with quality was something that the quality of you know, we were getting so much customers and not enough contractors. So we were giving them too many jobs, and so their quality starts to slack. So then our reviews start to slack. You know what I mean? It's a trickle down effect, right? So quality is a very big thing, especially when you're servicing someone's home, because social proof is everything. And leaving a bad review can slow us down for the month, for the week, for the quarter, right? Depending on, you know, what you write. So that quality is something that we face when going from 6 to 7 figures. And then only just last year, literally around this time, around February, did we get an operations manager in place because our daughter was being born. But other than that, we were doing everything. Like, we had a virtual assistant company where they were answering the phones, but we were still speaking to all the contractors. If there was an upset client, we were speaking to them. We were still in it and on it at the same time. Like, since we weren't doing the actual cleaning, it doesn't feel like you're in it per se, but we were handling a lot of the admin work until we finally gave it up just exactly a year ago.
We were on vacation, literally laying in the bed, drinking champagne, having a good time, and a call comes in from a client or from our virtual assistant saying, hey, this client's angry. And I don't do the customer service call because I'm like, yo, here's your money. I'm going back to enjoy my vacation. And Jhanika's sitting there, you know, on the phone with the client, explaining to them what happened. And even though the client could be wrong, or even though the contractor could be wrong, we could have been in there clear 100%. It still puts a damper on your entire day. You're talking to an angry person. They're getting in your head. They may be yelling at you. So those are things that you got to deal with, especially when you're talking about scaling, because those come in more often. The more clients you have, more likely, more mistakes are going to happen, more issues. So those are things that you got to deal with, especially as you're trying to scale. And then, like Jhanika said, we had to close down our bookings for a while because we had too many coming in. So we were focused on growing. Say, yo, we got to scale this back. We got to focus on quality over quantity. And we got to figure this out, you know, week by week as we go along. So I know early on you want all the money, but we said it's not even worth the headache right now.
Oh, absolutely.
Y'all are amazing, because I'm telling you, a lot of things you're saying, most people don't learn this on their first go around. And you know, every single word is 100% truth that you just said.
Well, something that we try to like live by and think of things by, especially with our business, is, does it fit into the life that we want to have? Right.
There you go.
So I know some people, they're like, well, it's a business. I need to get all the money. I need all the money. And I'm like, I'm not going to stress myself out for all this money. Now, this may be because we still had our 9-to-5s and we have other businesses and we have other things happening. So we're not solely relying on this to pay the bills or do whatever it may be. But the way that we run our life is, I don't want anything having me so stressed, so annoyed that I can't enjoy life, or that I must feel like this is the end all be all. Like, I can put work in, but to an extent, the way I want to put it in, the way that it will fit my lifestyle is how we operate.
And I don't think we ever use the words like, this is my baby. You hear that a lot of times.
Oh, God, I love y'all.
We never said the cleaning business was our baby.
We
don't even talk about it as much as we used to on social media, because like, we're more than just this business. So if Beez is like, yo, I got an offer for y'all, it's for this, we taking that money and doing something else. Like, here you go, take this business, we doing something else with it. So I don't think we've been 5 years in, about to be 6. I don't think we're that attached to it where it's our baby. And knock on wood, business too, knock on wood, it's been a blessing to our lives, but we've never went in with that mindset like, we gotta keep this thing.
No, that's so important. I'm telling you, y'all need to start acquiring businesses, right? Especially the strategy and how I do it, because you already have the mindset, and that's the hardest part of it. I'm telling you, the things that y'all are saying, I'm like, yes, that's right. I'm like, all right. But when you say it's not my baby, I had to make that change when I first got into the car rental game. I'm not even going to say the Turo game, because Turo was just one platform. But in car rentals, we had a bunch of exotics. And prior to that, all my cars had names. Right?
Like, people name
my baby. Like, what do you mean you want to drive Candy? Hell no, you ain't driving Candy. That was my red G35. My blue Hellcat was Smurfette, right? So
G35 Infinity?
Yeah.
That was one of my dream cars. It still is actually one of my dream Infinity.
I love that car, man.
The G35, yeah. I got the Q, but because I couldn't, that was out my range back then, but that was one of my dream cars.
Man, but that concept of, stop treating these businesses like it's your baby is critical to being a successful business person, because you have to be able to separate from it, because the point of getting into a business is usually to have some sort of exit plan, right?
Freedom or something.
Something. Whether you're going to sell, whether you're going to IPO, whatever it may be. So you guys are perfect for acquisitions, because the other thing with acquisitions is that the investor mindset, I'm not trying to be the CEO of anything. You see how y'all the CEO and you got those calls and you were like, oh, we on vacation. I don't want them calls. Don't call me. Call the CEO, right? Because I'm gonna hire a CEO in place. Now, most people will say, hey, yeah, but if I just started my business, I don't have enough revenue to hire a CEO. That's why I don't start businesses anymore. I acquire them. They got money already to hire a CEO there already. Because like Jhanika said, you have to know what you really want. And what's more important to me is not financial freedom. It's time freedom. I just use the money that I make to help get to the time freedom.
Exactly.
But if you don't know that difference, then you may make decisions that's just towards getting more money rather than the ones that's going to help you. Just like y'all did, where you said, I'm not ready to scale yet. We can't take on that much people. Let's make sure our processes are right first so we can scale properly. That's powerful, man. Y'all don't pat yourselves on the back. I'm serious. You think I'm laughing? You think I'm joking? I'm dead serious. You guys don't realize, because y'all talking to each other, so you just thought it's normal, but you don't realize how abnormal you are for a first-time entrepreneurs, and the mindset that you have that you learned already. I look forward to what you guys are gonna do, and that leads me to my next question. What is next for the Hartzogs?
We're in the middle of figuring out. We have some rental properties, and so we're looking to get some more. We have 2. We're looking to get some more of those. And like I said, we're trying to figure out, when we say go all in the business, just really checking our P&Ls, like making sure our profit is good, making sure that we expand it. How can we expand further than what it is really? Also trying to see, how do we show up in a different way for our students, right? Because right now we have a course, which is a self-paced course, and then we have a paid community that people can join, and we go in there and speak, right? But then there's people that just want that interaction with us. So does that mean we do the course and interaction with us for 8 weeks? So trying to figure that out, how we better serve our community. Do we have in-person conversations with our community as well? Because we haven't done that, during COVID and everything. So those are just some things we're thinking about business-wise.
And then personal-wise, like we said, we got a daughter that's about to be 11 months, about to be a year soon. It's like focusing on her, making sure that, we're there for her. She had swimming lessons. She got this lesson.
Music
she
class,
got this.
gymnastics.
So making sure we're there and trying to be the best parents that we know we could be as well.
Shout out to y'all. I love it. And that was my driving factor too. I left Microsoft literally because I was supposed to be traveling to go to a client for the week, and the client wasn't going to be there. So I asked them, hey, the client said I don't even need to come. Is it okay if I just stay home? And they were like, nah, we prefer you out there. And I was like, but the client's not even going to be there. Now I can't even go to my son's basketball game. I got to beg you for time to spend with my kids. Nah, I'm done. 2 weeks later, I was out. So it's powerful. It's powerful. We got to know what we truly want in life so that we can make sure that we take the steps to get to that. And, I commend y'all for what y'all are doing and how you've gotten to where you are right now. Now,
yeah, if I was in the office today, I would have missed her walking. I would have had to get a call. Oh, she just walked. Where's the video? Oh, we didn't have a video because you should have been here.
I see somebody right here, Andre. He's part of my community right now, and he said $1 trillion roundtable convo happening right now. So it's as good a time as any to mention my challenge. All right, I have a challenge out. It ain't no Tide Pod challenge or whatever challenges be on social media and stuff. My challenge is called the $1 Trillion Table Challenge. $1 Trillion Table Challenge. By the end of this decade, plenty of time. That's 7 years. It's not really plenty of time. It goes like that. But 7 years time. At the end of this decade, I want to sit in a room at a table with people that look like us, and we have $1 trillion AUM, assets under management. Now, here's the thing. Some people hear that and they're like, $1 trillion? Damn, Beez, you got some big dreams. It's entirely possible, right? Now, there's three main ways of creating wealth: real estate, in financial markets like your stocks, your Forex, all of that, and owning a business, whether you buy or build them, right? Owning a business. Those are the three main ways of creating true wealth, like large type of wealth, generational type of wealth. I'm on a path to $1 billion with a capital B, right? The acquisitions that I'm trying to do this year will get me closer to the 100 million mark. And then I got 7 years to get to the billion. Will you be at that table with me, the $1 trillion table? Both of you.
I'm like, are you talking to your audience or me? All right.
It's the you.
Hope to be. I haven't.
No hope.
I haven't envisioned that yet, so I haven't start that process to get there. But I would say yes.
This goes back to that mindset shift. Now you're like, all right, we just came from a conference, and the goal was $100 billion in the room. And it was like, wow, that was a mindset shift. Now you're talking about $1 trillion. This is all in less than a week.
Yeah,
we just adjusting to the first conversation we had. Now we got to readjust.
And it's not that it's not possible, but like he said, if you're not hearing or thinking about it, you're like, wait a minute.
Yes, I remember making $10,000 a month and thinking like, yo, I made it. I came up. Then I remember when I got to like 100,000 a month, and I was like, oh, you can't tell me nothing. I was dancing, singing songs, and all types of stuff. Then I had some friends talking about how they made $1 million in a day, and I was like, well, damn, what's going on here? And it
why
changed.
am I not there? Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I don't even want it to seem like salty, like why am I not there?
No.
Yeah, it's more like, okay, I didn't even think about
what's possible.
Yeah, I didn't think about
exactly.
that.
So now, okay, how I'm gonna do this too, right?
Yeah.
And I'd never even considered the possibility of becoming a billionaire. I thought that's just, they talk about the 1% and such, right? But with business acquisitions, I found that that's the actual path to becoming a billionaire. Even Warren Buffett, he said in an interview last year, they asked him, if you lost all of your money, what would you do to gain it back, all of your wealth? And he said, well, no question about it. I have to buy businesses. He even called me by name. He said, I'll do what Beez is doing. No, I'm joking. He didn't say that part. But I'm doing what he's doing. You know what I'm saying? I'm following the people that we know have achieved something that we want to achieve. That those should be who we try to learn from and emulate. And, that's where this challenge came from. And I ask every guest this because I know it's possible. And I think what you guys are doing, oh man, you just cracked the tip of the iceberg. I'm telling you, I'm really looking forward to seeing what's next for the Hartzogs and where y'all gonna go, because I'm so excited and proud. Y'all came from Brooklyn. You stepped up your first foray into it and ended up with $1 million business. Man, y'all are inspiration to our community. Y'all are inspiration to each other, to your daughter now, right? I tell people that the most powerful conversation I have ever had in my life was last year. My oldest son went off to college. And my son said, Dad, I found a sushi restaurant in, I'm not gonna say what city he's in, but in next to school. Can we acquire it? And I was like, well, I don't really like restaurants, but are you saying you want to be the one that's in charge of it? And I help you to acquire it and you be responsible? He's like, yeah, I could do it. Girls love sushi. That's clutch. And I was like, I was like, listen, man.
I'm not mad.
There you go.
Two birds with one stone.
Exactly. I told him, listen, maybe that's not the right reason, but this is a powerful conversation. It's a black dialogue. Talking to my black son, young adult, talking about, we could just go buy this business and we could do it with no money out of pocket. That's a powerful conversation, and that's how we could change our community, making sure that the youth know about this method as well, or just know about the things like what you guys are doing with your business, right? So how are you, this is my final question to you guys. How are you giving back to our community? What method? Obviously you're teaching, but is there anything else that you do from a philanthropic perspective in terms of giving back?
We have tithes as well, that we give our tithes monthly to our church. And then also usually
we was even doing that when we were trying to get out of debt. I know that sounds crazy, but it's like, all right, if God this God's money's anyway. Like we wouldn't have it if he didn't give it to us. So we've been tithing even before we were trying to get out of debt.
That, and then generally with like family and friends, usually when things come up and situations have happened and we're able to give without a problem. But that is something as well that we're like, how do we give back our time? Maybe not just financially, how do we give back our time, which he actually hit somebody up today about that, to be around the youth, to be around other people, outside of just us giving back, on social media and students and stuff like that.
And then Dallas just had a snowstorm, a year ago, whatever.
Yeah, I remember that when everything froze.
Everything froze, pipes froze. Yeah. There was this complex. They had to evacuate the whole complex. We got together with some people on social media. We coordinated the efforts to kind of get a bunch of groceries and food and supplies over there. Awesome. Literally was on the ground, giving that stuff out to them. So having more financial freedom allows us to help people and give back time and some of the financials that we've received as well. So having both of them.
Awesome. And I'd love to encourage and ask you guys to continue not just being an example, but share it with the youth, right? Because I'm telling you, you don't realize how amazing y'all are. And I think if you tell show the youth this more, let them see that, hey, we came in and did this middleman thing. And, we took certain steps that, we had to know when to pull back so we don't try to scale too fast. Your story is powerful. And if I learned this when I was 17, man,
right. I know.
You had to clean out the table by yourself.
Yeah,
for real,
I don't need nobody else. I got this.
But for real though, I'm extremely honored to have you guys on the show. I'm extremely honored to know y'all now. I love your story. I'm looking forward to us continuing to build in many ways. I'm looking forward to sharing this story to others as well. And I'm also looking forward to giving you those 2 business deals to see if y'all go with it or not.
Definitely gonna look into that.
Absolutely.
For sure. Now, I'm giving it to you. It's your gift. But if you do want me to help you, I got to charge you for that, for me to help you.
Yeah.
But you're good. For real. So tell the people where they can find you. Where's the best place to get in touch with you, and also join your community so they can learn how to scale a cleaning business as well.
So in regards to the cleaning business, you can go to cleaningbusinessuniversity.com, and that's where we have our course and just additional information about who we are and what the course is about. But we also have a podcast, the Hartzogs Hustle Podcast, where you can find on YouTube and any of your streaming platforms. But also the Hartrimony is our name on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, and that's it's been there actually, the HARTRIMONY, and you can follow us as well. So those are the multiple places you can plug in with us.
And when you follow us or you subscribe, let us know where you found us at. Let us know, like, I'm from Beez's tribe, so we can say what up and just know, where you guys are coming from.
Yeah,
for sure. So we'll have all that information down in the description below so that you guys can also tap in with the Hartzogs, the Hartrimony. How did y'all come up with that name, the Hartrimony?
Well, it's a hashtag from our wedding that has become our brand and our business now. It's matrimony and our last name combined together. So
I love Hartrimony.
Hartrimony.
We turned our wedding hashtag into a business, and that was like the first. Yeah, literally, we got a bank account for it and business funds and everything.
Listen, and I mean, I'm gonna say this to Jhanika too, but Aunt, I'm telling you, bro, ain't nothing like having an amazing partner when you're getting into entrepreneurship and going through this game. And not only are y'all working together and married and friends, and I could see the energy and everything, that's awesome. But being level-headed and taking that approach together, and I'm gonna assume Janika's the brains of the operations, bro. I'm gonna say you.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
It's funny because he always says if he was single, he would either be very broke or very rich. Because he's that extreme with things, and I'm just like, Let's bring it in.
Let's go. Well, you two are awesome. Thank you so much for being on Entrepreneurship Exposed. I'm looking forward to the day that I'm on y'all podcast too.
Yes.
Hit me up anytime.
We in Miami often, so I don't know if you're in Miami but
Yeah.
my father lives in Miami.
Yeah.
Yo, come
We'll
on
bring
down,
that equipment
man.
down there.
We just closed on a nightclub right now, so that's
We're
part
gonna
of
film in
the
a nightclub then.
do it. Come on to it. That's what I was telling you about the stress I was having earlier because I was going through some stuff on that
Congratulations.
turnover. Thank you.
Cool.
Thank you very much. That is not the type of acquisition I would tell people to do though, because it violates my rules. The nightclub actually requires me to be a little bit more involved. And I don't drink. I don't club like that. So for me, it's like a chore. Now I got to get up every now and then. I got people operating it for me,
Right.
but it's not my typical turnkey, essential, boring business that I have nothing to do with and I'm just getting revenue from. So,
Right.
but hey,
But it's fun.
it's fun.
For someone.
Exactly. Well, listen, thank you again, both of you, for coming on. Everybody in here, make sure that you like, subscribe to this channel. Make sure that you do not miss anything because you will miss conversations like this. You'll miss episodes like this if you don't have those notifications turned on. Make sure you're not only subscribed on YouTube, but you're subscribed on all podcast streaming platforms. And make sure you tap in with my people, the Hartzogs. See y'all on the next episode. Let's go. Thank you so much, Hartzogs, for being on
Thank you.
Entrepreneurship Exposed.
All right, thank you.
Peace.